Welcome back, Dave. It's been a while since we last saw you on Geeky Brummie.
I know, it's been quite some time, hasn't it?
Years, I believe.
Yes.
But yes. So if you don't know who Dave is Mr. BrumHour, aka Dave from BrumHour. You might have heard it. BrumHour is a social media enterprise started in December 2013, mostly on Twitter, but throughout the pandemic and beyond, your account's built over 30,000 followers in the Birmingham area, main collection of small businesses, freelancers, and venues in and around Birmingham for networking, and that's every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yes, and you've also got BrumHour, the website, which is your website to support, demonstrate events, businesses, charities, volunteer work, etc. And you also focus a lot on theatre.
Yes, I do. Very passionate about theatre.
Yes. So do you want to tell us how BrumHour started, how you then swapped into theatre as well, and how that started?
I was looking for work. I'd been working in retail for 20 years. I'd got a background experience in journalism, and I suddenly found myself in a situation where I wanted to demonstrate my skills. So I started to go on social media, create content from doing that. And that was in 2013, December of 2013. And from that, I then got invited to go out and explore the city. I started off by reviewing a steakhouse, which was my first thing. And I'm not someone that is the first person you'd ask to go and do that.
Well, as long as it's not fish or seafood, you're pretty much good.
Yes, I'm usually pretty good with that. And then I started to go and explore other venues around the city. I built a website from that, which is my BrumHour website, which I've had this on its second iteration, possibly its third iteration now. And that current version's been there since 2019. And it's just an opportunity to share about heritage in the city, share about content that people create themselves as well, and also draw an attention to how people can get into industries like this.
Yeah, so you focus quite a lot, as you said, on the third sector, smaller businesses. So why the focus on that rather than some of the larger employers in Birmingham?
A lot of the time those larger businesses are working with each other already. They've already got those connections built up. And having something like BrumHour gives small businesses, and it's across platforms these days. It's you can go on LinkedIn and share things on LinkedIn with me, and I'll reshare them through LinkedIn as well. And it allows those small businesses and individuals the chance to just shout about themselves and not necessarily. We're from a city where people don't really big themselves up. So it gives you an opportunity to backpat someone like yourselves who are on your 10th anniversary, and really shout about and really champion those sorts of things.
Awesome, thank you. And yeah, so you said you moved on to more doing theatre as well across the website. So how did the theatre element start?
I actually don't recall how that started. It just sort of happened. I had reviewed theatre in my previous job role, which was I was a student journalist. I'd done that a few times in the 90s, and then it was a skill I'd already got from that course, and I found myself chatting to people from theatres, and particularly because I didn't have any experience in ballet or Shakespeare or opera, they wanted someone who was coming fresh into that to be able to come and review. So that's how I sort of began that, with zero knowledge of any of those sectors at all. Yeah.
So there is a lot of theatres around Birmingham, and even in a 50-mile radius if you think about things like Stratford-upon-Avon, Wolverhampton, Coventry, etc. So what kind of theatres do you usually cover?
I cover the probably 5 theatres in Birmingham, but the main 3, the Hippodrome, the Rep and the Alex, those are the ones I tend to go to most of the time. They have homegrown and touring productions. There's usually, at the Hippodrome and the Alex, 25 productions each year to go and see. And then at the Rep, they tend to have things there for a little bit longer, so there's usually about 10, 12 productions to go and see per year. And then I'm down in Stratford seeing Shakespeare, which is the weirdest thing for me, to go and see Shakespeare down in Stratford. And it always feels really lovely just to go down there, because you take a whole day out, and get to go down to Stratford, down by the river there.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, you covered the Wolverhampton Grand.
Yes.
There's quite a lot of independent theatres as well in Birmingham, which people don't realise.
Yeah.
There's the old Joint Stock.
Yeah.
There's the old Rep, which does a lot of short tours or, again, homegrown talent.
Yeah.
And in my case, live D&D as
Live
recording.
Yes.
That is what I'm seeing at the old Rep tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's attached to the Crescent now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a great theatre to go and see productions in as well. That's a lot of homegrown productions in there as well.
And then you've got Blue Orange Theatre,
Yes.
Crescent Theatre as well, you mentioned. So it's got a lot of smaller theatres, and you've actually done quite a lot of ballet stuff as well. We're based
it just
in Millennium
seems so
Point.
likely that I'd be doing the ballet.
Yeah, so we're based in Millennium Point for the podcast, which you probably have seen in the past, we mentioned, but we're just right behind Birmingham Conservatoire here as well. So I know the ballet do a lot of productions there.
Yes, there's there's a theatre space in the Conservatoire to. And then I'm sure it's 2 buildings up from here.
Yeah.
To go and see productions, and those are student productions, bringing out quite niche content that you wouldn't expect to see, particularly at a college university. And they always have their own unique spin on them as well.
Yeah, I believe Julian Lloyd Webber is at Birmingham Conservatoire as well. So if you know Andrew Lloyd Webber is probably slightly more famous father, but and
you'll see him around town. Which is quite weird, just to have that that very strong theatre connection, to that kind of theatre royalty.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. And I know a big thing is always the pantos. So you always have a massive panto season for Christmas. I mean, the Hippodrome probably the most known panto in the area, but again, there's some fascinating smaller pantos around the region.
And at the moment, even in February, there's adult versions of pantos coming out. Which I'm sure have got quite...
Yes.
Yeah, don't take your kids to them. They've got some quite grown-up content to come and see.
Yes.
There's particular ones going to the Rep this week, and I'm sure one of the other theatres has another...
I think the old Rep's showing Star Wars burlesque
theatre
production.
That's
just finished, but that was in London, I think, on off the West End for a while. Yeah, so you've taken your love of theatre, and you used to do BrumHour on Brum Radio, and you occasionally do episodes of that, but you now mainly concentrate on interval theatre every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Brum Radio, and also available on Mixcloud and podcasts.
You've got all the details there. Thank you for having to do that. That's all the things I normally shout out about. I championed to get a theatre show on Brum Radio for over a year before, and that's how long it takes to get productions through. When people get through a production, a radio show started within 3 months or whatever, I'm always impressed, because to me that's a fast turnover. But I championed having that show for over a year, and then it began in 2019, which was the week of World Theatre Day, which takes place in March each year.
Yep.
And we did it through the pandemic as well, and it's a weekly show. There's enough individuals who want to be interviewed from theatre that are in Birmingham pretty much every week.
Yeah. So explain the concept of, if you wanted to listen to an episode of Interval Theatre, what's the kind of usual?
I play the type of cheesy tracks that you won't find anywhere else.
Bit of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, if you're listening, the only place that you'll probably find similar tracks to what I'm playing is on Elaine Page's show on Radio 2. That's where the main area of that is. And there is some Lloyd Webber in there as well. But the tone of it can veer anything from kids musicals to adult shows as well.
Yeah, so it's usually a combination of music, interview with a guest, and that's usually when the production's coming up on tour or just about to launch in Birmingham.
Unless it's doing 10 weeks, which some shows do. Peter Pan's coming to Birmingham as a homegrown production at the Rep this Christmas. December of 2026. Yeah. And that's not even a panto. Yeah. That's going to be just a full-on show play. That's just there for 8 weeks. Yeah. So you're going to have that situation where there's going to be music that's homegrown from that show, and I'll play that on my on Interval Theatre as well.
Awesome, thank you. And on your latest episode, you spoke to David Sturzaker and Jaden Hanley. Yeah. So that's on a tour of Dear England, which is coming to the Hippodrome. So do you want to tell us about how that interview?
How that went? I went down to Milton Keynes to do that, and it's quite weird because put on a train with people from a Birmingham theatre. You go down, you see a show, and then the people from the show then come and speak to you. In part of the theatre, you get 10 minutes with each of them just to find out what they're doing. These guys all have Birmingham connections. So David, he used to be on BBC Doctors. Jaden, he grew up in Solihull. So they all had those connections. And then I interviewed Samantha Womack, who's in that production as well.
Yep.
And that she's spent Christmases in Birmingham from the Panto as well. So they've all got those strong connections when they're looking for that angle, but it isn't necessary to have a Birmingham angle. In the interviews, they can come and explore Birmingham for the first time as well.
Mm-hmm. So why such a focus on theatre? Is it because pretty much every performance is unique or different?
I wanted to prove that someone with my working class background could go and do something like that. And that was what drove me to go into that industry in the first place, because I was somebody that couldn't sing, couldn't dance, and can't act. And being desperate to grow up into theatre and do something in theatre, to find a niche and have that niche carved out, where I'm interviewing people, I'm always surprised that I'm in that scope of doing that. And it's something that if you don't think you've got the skills in one place, you'll find a skill to get yourself into that environment.
Yeah. And it's not just the people front of stage as well. I know you focus a lot on the front of stage, but there's a lot of people who work in the back of stage of theatre, and you always highlight that as well on Lichfield Theatre. So you want to tell us a little bit more about the roles that you speak to?
Yeah, I'm working my way through interviewing everybody at Birmingham Royal Ballet. So I've interviewed everybody from education department to digital content creation. My most recent interview was with Isabella, who she works in the costume department. She builds the costume. She is a costume creator, and just going into that department and seeing what it's like to have all that costuming all around the back of the theatre is just amazing, just to see that, and the detailing and the embroidery in it, and to have it really close to see it, and then to see it on the stage 2 weeks later, and the things they were highlighting, the fact you can be at the back of the theatre and see the detailing in those costumes and the light hitting and it's sparkling at the right moment. It's really important to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a great opportunity with Birmingham Heritage Week where you can usually go and explore the back of theatres. They'll show you where the dressing rooms are, they'll show you where the costuming departments are, so it's always a really good one. I think that happens every year around September, so.
And you can get on tours of theatres through the year. The Old Rep does tours throughout the year. The Alexandra does a ghost tour that you can go to. And if you are someone that has an affinity with ghost tours, you probably will enjoy that, because it is a little bit spooky in the dark. That tour's usually at 10:30 at night after a production. So they'll have something like 222 Ghost Story there, or something that has ghosts as the theme, and then they'll do a ghost tour of that. The Hippodrome's theatre tour is less haunted, so you go to the theatre.
I'm less interested.
Yeah, you go there, and that one's just a heritage experience to go and see. But they all do this, and if you go to the Rep for theirs, you go down into the costume department in the belly of the building, and that's really exciting if that is your sort of scope to go to. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So if people wanted to get into theatre in Birmingham and beyond, how would you recommend getting into it?
I think people just need the determination for a start. It is a lot of hard work. It is a ongoing thing. You have to be able to take time for it every single week, just like creating podcasts for yourselves. You've got to be able to appreciate how much time and effort and energy it's going to take to get into it. But determination will get you there. That's the first battle, I think, for doing it.
Awesome, thank you. So how about yourself? So it's been, as I said, a few years since we last caught up with you. I think it was pre-pandemic, so I can imagine that was a massive change for you, for BrumHour, and just in general for your content. So how's it been over the last few years?
It's the environment on social media has changed considerably, and we're now in this position where I can share content just on the touch of a button on Instagram. I can do the same on LinkedIn, and it gives me a chance to, again, draw to that Birmingham voice, that idea of heritage versus industry versus culture. there's always that opportunity to just build and share that content through it. And people send me things a lot as well. There's a lot of things that I get sent, and some of them are on brand for what I do, and others are a little less on the brand. But it's always interesting to see what people think I might share, you know, in terms of content and in terms of being excited about what's going on in the city.
Yeah. And you're still with our lovely old friends at Brum Radio.
Yes.
So do you want to hear what's happening at Brum Radio nowadays?
What's happening? We're always looking for... Which angle do you want to hear? Do you want to hear me talk about the...
Well,
I'm always looking for volunteers.
I was going to say, you also manage the volunteers for the
people
station
tend to stay with us for about 18 months.
Yep.
And then they realise they can go and get paid for what they've learned with us, which is a brilliant thing because it's really empowering to people that come to us. And it gives people the skills that they wouldn't necessarily have picked up in any other environment. We also have shows that tend to be around about 2 years with us.
Yep.
And you go through a topic that you can't get anywhere else. The whole point of how your podcast started was because you wouldn't be able to make Geeky Brummie anywhere else in terms of getting that voice out there. And then the types of shows that we have, they have that unique voice to them, even 10 years later, which is wonderful just to have.
No, thank you. So if you want to find you on social media, you're not just on Twitter where you originally started BrumHour from, but you have expanded out on Twitter.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us where you're from?
You can find me on X at BrumHour. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. Those are the main sort of ones I'm at the moment. I do have profiles on other platforms, but I'm not necessarily using them at the moment. You sort of, you know, social media is such a fluid environment to be in, and moving forward into those spaces with ease is what it's all about. I'm still not going to TikTok. I'm still not taking TikTok trends. It wasn't for me. Learning to dance on TikTok was not something I was going to be doing. But yeah, you can find me on all those at BrumHour.
And BrumHour.co.uk for your longer form theatre reviews. And if people want to get in contact and share things about Birmingham, and how will they get in contact? Was it DM on Instagram or?
Well, I can be instant messaged on any platform you can find me on. That's usually the best way to do it. Just tell me that you've got something you want me to share, and I'll pull that face that just says I'm not going to share that. Or I'm happy to share it if it's on brand for being excited and champion in Birmingham.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon.
The Geeky Brummie podcast is presented by Ryan Parish, featuring Sam Edwards, Leigh Price and Keith Bloomfield, and special guest Dave Massey from BrumHour. The podcast is produced by Viv Parish and is recorded at Millennium Point in the heart of Birmingham. You can follow us on all of the social medias at Geeky Brummie, and you can support the show by visiting ko-fi.com/Geeky Brummie. This was a Geeky Brummie production, and until next time, ta-ra a bit.